in all of that getting, you're supposed to get what?
Understanding.
You know, sometimes in all of our getting, I believe what we really try to get is comfortable. You know, it seems to me that sometimes in all of our getting, we try to get comfortable. And the more comfortable we get, the more we think it's better.
Yes.
But one thing I've been really seeking God about is as far as the difference between comfort and understanding. Because, see, sometimes we're comfortable even when things are wrong. We're comfortable in it. And you know, sometimes, you know, I've mentioned before that we get comfortable in our dysfunction, and so many people, and sometimes we are comfortable, we're in a dysfunctional relationship, or we're in a dysfunctional situation, and yet we're too comfortable, how can I say that? We're too comfortable to make a change. Sometimes making a change is just too much work. So even though we don't like our situation, the trade-off is a little bit too much. So I think I'd rather stay here, and can we say this? I think I'd rather stay here and complain about it. I think it's easier for me to just say how much I don't like it than to actually make enough change to do something about it. So sometimes we can recognize we're in a bad thing, but it's not bad enough for me to change. It's not bad enough. I hate the way that person makes me feel, but I don't hate it enough to break off the relationship. I hate talking to them, but I don't hate it enough to tell them that we're not going to talk anymore. So in this, and all that getting, and everything that you get, make sure you don't get more comfortable. Make sure you get an understanding. Because if you understand why you're doing what you're doing, then you can understand if you need to make a change from what you are doing. Amen?
Amen.
So today we're going to understand a couple of things, and we're going to understand the accessories that come with being a child of God. We're going to understand the accessories that come with it. Because I don't think you understand. Sometimes, you know, like me, I'm very big into electronics. I love electronics. I love my little gadgets, and I love all of my things, and my phone and my watch. They sync and they talk to each other and all of that stuff. I love all of that stuff. I love my car is synced to my watch and my phone, and it all talks. So at the same time, my car is giving me alerts, and my phone's giving me alerts, and my watch is giving me alerts, and I love all of those things. But do you realize every year, now I'm not trying to start a war because I believe in love and peace and happiness. But every year I get my new Samsung phone. Okay, I'm not trying to start a war. But listen, I love me Samsung, but listen, I love all of my iPhone friends and family. So what I'm saying is that I love my Galaxy Note. Okay, my new one, my Galaxy Note 10 Galaxy. You can shoot me out a new one for free. For this is free advertising for you. So in that, every year I get a new phone. Every year I get a new one. Every year. And this time, they've done so great on their phone. This is my favorite phone. It's my favorite one. Even more than the one they had before that exploded everywhere. And even though that phone exploded everywhere, I still wouldn't give it up until I got an email from the Federal Bureau of Investigation. The FBI sent everybody emails telling them they had to turn in their phone or they're going to get in trouble. When you get an email from the government, United States government, it makes you say, this may be dysfunctional. I may know that my phone is going to blow up. But I don't think it's worth somebody coming to my house to come and get me because I'm holding something that's dangerous because it can blow up, and it was blowing up in airplanes. And so it got so bad that they restricted the phone and said anybody that owned it, you couldn't get on a plane if you owned that phone. And some of us still wouldn't give up our phone. That shows how comfortable we can be in dysfunction. Knowing something is so sensitive, it can blow up in your face, but yet you won't make a change. How many of us had people so volatile? How many times have we had people so volatile that you know it could blow up, they could blow up at any time, but you're like, I'll take my chances because I'm comfortable in this relationship. I was comfortable in my relationship with my phone. My phone loved me and I loved it. Even though though I knew it could turn on me at any moment and blow up and might hurt me and somebody else, but I was willing to take the chance. I say all of that to say that was my favorite phone. And I was angry when I had to give it up. See, sometimes, even when you got to give up something that is not good for you, oh, somebody. Sometimes you are so comfortable with what you have, even though it can hurt you and they can hurt you, when it's time to give it up, you're not happy about it. Right. See, sometimes you got to give up something that you're comfortable with, but that thing was never good for you. It was cute, it was pretty, you have stories to tell. And see, some of us have people in our lives, situations, it's volatile. They could blow up. See, somebody right there said, yeah. See, sometimes, and see, the problem with us is we have a story behind the volatility. Yeah. See, I know him or she could blow up on me, but when they don't blow up, they're so nice and they're so smart and that's what I said about my phone. Oh, I know it could blow up, but it's so good, and when it's operating right, it's so good. And see, that's what we do about people. There's history behind, and that's why we always say to other people, "Oh, you don't understand. I know that you see the bad part, but when it's not bad, when they're not bad, it's so good." Make a long story short, the new phone, I absolutely love it. It's my favorite phone. But you know what? What'd you say? I ain't talking to you, fast. I'm talking. You know, you can't have my old phone. I turn it in. I turn it in. With that, though, I was so excited to get the phone. I took the phone out. I was like, I already know what I want. I know I want the phone. I said, and I just want the newest charger. Got that. But you know what? There were other things in the box that I just tossed aside. Because I'm like, I just want what I think is the best part. But there were some little things in there that I missed out on because I tossed them away. Like with Samsung phones, well, specifically the one I have, we have memory cards. So we can have as much memory as we want because we can just pop in a larger memory card in that phone. So we never run out of space, and we can do as many pictures, videos as we want, and when we run out, we just put another card in. But there's a little tool taped in a little section of a little bitty tool, like a little pen, that pushes the little gadget on our phone that pops out the card. But if you throw away, see, you could be stuck. See, I'm preaching, I want you to know something. See, sometimes you're stuck with being trapped, and you could grow and could have more, but you tossed aside an accessory that God gave to you, but that wasn't the big pretty thing. See, so many times we are looking for the big, pretty, shiny thing, and they're the small things that can make the biggest change to that thing that you think is so valuable. Yeah. So then when I had to switch my card out, I had to go back to the box that I tossed aside. Take all these things out, and it was behind the instructions that we don't read. Yeah. Tape them behind them, and there's a little bitty thing about that you can miss that little tool. And so many times, there are things God has provided for us. It's an accessory. And because it wasn't impressive to us, it wasn't pretty, we missed out on it. So we have to learn that's an accessory to my phone. That now, that little bitty key, I keep it on my key ring. Because when it's time for expansion, I know how to utilize that small little tool that can change how much capacity my phone can handle. Sometimes there are people that don't seem all big and popular and smart and intelligent, and they represent that little key. They're not outspoken. They don't want a whole bunch of attention. And sometimes there are people that God will send to you. That's your little key. You never notice them in the crowd. They're maybe not the best speaker. They're not the biggest, the tallest, but they're a little key that can bring expansion to you and help you gain capacity in your life to be able to handle and hold more things. But you know what we look for? We look for the popular people. We look for the people that everybody gravitates to them, and we're like, "Ooh, I need to connect with them." See, that's the problem. You're looking for the big shiny thing when there are little bitty keys all around, hidden behind the box that God wants for you. If we can, in all that getting, get understanding. See, this is why if we really love the way Christ wanted us to love, you would be able to have conversations and learn. Oh my God, you're so valuable to me. And there's relationships that you can build and grow on, and you're like, oh my God, I had no idea you were my little key. Oh my God, I would have never known that God had brought you in my life to increase and bring value to me. Sometimes we look for the biggest pastors with the biggest churches and all of those things. And see, sometimes you never know on that little bitty storefront that God had somebody for you that was your key. That they can help you expand in your life. And they can bring value to you. And they may not have the loudest voice. And see, sometimes the littlest key have the smallest voices. But they're the ones that have the opportunity to bring capacity to your life. We have to understand the accessories that come with Christianity. See, this is why when Christ told us to be lowly and meek, in other words, stay humble. We shouldn't be looking for the attention seekers and the flashers, or the ones that want to be heard, or the ones that want to be seen, or the ones that want to tell you all what they're doing. See, if we could ever gravitate to the little keys that all they want to do is just boop, one key phrase, one word, of them to love on you. Or them to spend that time with you, or them to say, you know what, let's have lunch together, or to ask a question that nobody else cared to ask. How are you doing? Or to ask a question that nobody else cared to ask. How was your day? To make you say, oh my God, they care about. See, those are the little keys. Those are the little keys that you went past everybody else, and everybody else is so busy doing their own thing. Understanding the accessories that come with Christianity. Everybody won't look the part. Everybody won't act the part. Everybody won't seem like they fit in. And do you know God is looking for you to find your little keys that can bring the expansion to you? Do you realize you feel that you don't fit in? People don't see you the way you know you are. Did you realize you're a little key that bring capacity to other people? Do you realize that you are as important as that big shiny object? And you help that big shiny object perform. That little key helps me. Boop. Little hole. There's just a little tiny hole in my phone, and that key was built to fit that phone, to unlock it and bring expansion. If we understood that in church, a lot of times we're little keys that help bring expansion to our church. We're little keys that help bring expansion to that pastor. We're little keys that help. Whoop, and see, if we were by ourselves, we would seem so small nobody would recognize us. But understanding I was created to fit that hole. I'm not insignificant. I was designed to unlock that thing, to open it up so expansion could come in that thing. I am an accessory. If we could understand the accessories that come along with our walk, we understand there are things that we need and people that we need that God is going to bring to us. See, the thing is, sometimes you want it to be loved by your family, but your family not going to love you. The problem is you're trying to force them to see you and love you the way you know you need to be seen. But God has already sent you a little key that wants to show you the love. We have to just be able to embrace what God put in the box, not what we want it to be in the box. Can I tell you? You may want your family to see you a certain way, and they may never see you that way. But I promise you, God has sent you little keys. to make you feel as special as he wants to make you feel. You may have wanted to be understood or approved by others, but God has already sent you little keys that will show you they approve of you and will bring you the confirmation that you have secretly wanted. How many times have we really just wanted to feel validated? How many times have we really wanted to feel that somebody just said, you're great? But you know how many times were we not able to receive what they said because we really wanted to hear it from somebody else? What's more important, I ask you this, hearing it from the person you wanted or just hearing it period? And those are the things that we have to be able to understand. All that getting, understanding. Let's get an understanding. What do you want? Do you really want to be loved, or you just want to be loved by them? Do you, let's get in all that getting, let's get an understanding. Do you want to be respected by you want to be respected, period, or do you just want to be respected by them? Do you really want to hear that you're doing well or you're doing better, or do you only really want to hear it from them? Because if you only want to hear from them, they're the ones that have all the power. Do you know who they are? They're now your God. Because now I only feel validated if the validation comes from them. What happens if you say, I need my child to love me? What happens if your child decides they don't ever want to love you? Are you going to hold yourself from being loved because they won't give the way you want? Or are you going to receive the love from a stranger that won't be a stranger if you receive them right? They will be your next best family member, extended from bloodline from Christ, and they will rock with you for the rest of your life if you receive them. But sometimes we reject the stranger because I need to feel the love from the family member who will never give me the love the way they will. And all that get understanding, and all that get it. So we have to understand the accessories. There are accessories that come with being a Christian. Christian means Christ-like, which means I'm trying to do my doggonest to do it the way he did it. He set an example. I'm trying to roll like he rolled. I'm trying to respond like he. That's what's being Christ-like. That's what makes me a Christian. I'm trying to now be the best me that I can be and rep him. That is my job as a Christian. So when I say I'm a Christian, what does that mean? That means to me that I'm trying to be Christ-like every day. And at the end of the day, when I lay my head on the pillow, I can say, Lord, you know I did the best I could. And he can say, well done, my good and faithful servant. He knows what you had to deal with. He knows the haters. He knows the people who wanted to put you down. He knows all of that. And let me tell you that your Lord and Savior dealt with haters before any of us did. He understands. That's why he said, I'll never leave you nor forsake you, because he knows what it feels like to be abandoned in the darkest hour. He knows what it feels like when people left him and said that they would rock with him forever. He knows what it feels like. He was there. Even forget about being on the boat with the disciples. But what about in the last hour when he knew his time was coming and he looked around and all of his disciples were asleep in the dark hour? See, you're going to have to deal with, ladies and gentlemen, and jury, you're going to have to deal with people who said they rock with you, and in your darkest time, you're going to look up and you're going to be by yourself. But I promise you, you won't be by yourself because Jesus is there. You just have to know he has to keep his word because he is the word. And the word, the Bible says the word won't return unto him void, which means that when the word comes forth, the word has to be manifested here on earth before it can go back to heaven. Yeah. Amen. Amen. So, somebody say, I'm understanding the accessories tonight.